farmers don't do politics. They raise crops from the ground, they feed their pigs and their cows, send them off to slaughter. It's the same thing, whether you've got a communist, whether you've got a democratic, whether Obama's in office or Hitler's in office, they're going to do basically the same thing, except in 1939, Der Fuhrer decided to invade fucking everybody. And he needed manpower. In 1940, in July of 1940, during the height of the summer crop season, a truck came into my father's town, and it was empty, except for 2 soldiers and an officer. They went around from house to house, farmhouse to farmhouse, and they tacked up a little note on the door that said, all men age 16 and over need to be at such and such a farm at 3 p.m. this afternoon. Do not be late. Signed, the Wehrmacht, the German army. The only one in my family who was over 16 was my grandfather. So obedience was the thing to do back then, so he went. When he got there, he found a field that had a whole bunch of guys from the neighboring area standing in the field. The soldiers came up out of the truck and they arranged them all in a nice single line. The officer came out and he held up a clipboard and he said, "Who wants to join the Nazi Party and fight for the fatherland and our glorious army? Step forward." Nobody stepped forward. These are farmers. They're raising cattle, chickens, wheat. They're doing what they do. So the officer did what he did. And he walked over to the last guy in line, pulled out his sidearm, put it to his forehead, boom, dropped him to the ground, and said, "Now, who wants to sign the paper? Join the Nazi Party and fight for the fatherland and our glorious army. Take a step forward." Naturally, my grandfather and every other man that was there did exactly that. He was gone without a word to my family. His sons and his daughters, his wife, no clue where he went until 2 weeks later, when my grandmother received a letter stating that the Führer thanked her family and her husband for his voluntary induction into the Wehrmacht. Wow. So they sent him off to the Russian front. How fun. But this story is not about him. My father, my uncles, his brothers, and his sisters, my aunts, and their friends were approached in 1943. These were school kids. They were 10, 11, 12 years old. They knew how to take care of their farms. They knew how to take care of things in their father's and older brothers' absences. But basically, they were still kids. And their motivations were the same as all kids are. Farmers noticed at the local Luftwaffe airport. They had an airport there. They had several Me-109s that would do scouting over Great Britain and bring back reports. They noticed that the tires on the Me-109s were about the same size as their tractor tires. And since Der Führer wouldn't give them money for tires or any other fucking thing, the farmers decided that they needed to get those tires off those planes. But how to do it? How to do it without getting shot? Big problem. And they all started thinking, kids, who would shoot at a kid. So they gathered all of the 10, 11, and 12-year-olds from the town together. And they said, if you guys can find a way to get us some of those airplane tires, we'll give you candy and oranges.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, yeah, I mean, huge motivations. I mean, you know, kids today, they want video games and, you know, yeah, just throw me a gift card for $100 million to Abercrombie and Fitch and I'm cool. And back then it was an orange and a chocolate bar and you could have the fucking world from a kid. So these kids were fairly clever. The smarter, older ones who had more on the ball and kind of knew how things were. They watched the airport. They figured out that the pilots and the guards, after the patrols came in and landed, before they would refuel their planes and do whatever maintenance, they would all have schnapps and an afternoon nap. It was during that afternoon nap that my father and his friends, his brothers and his sisters took 2x4s and in the spirit of every gang in Los Angeles, jacked those motherfucking planes up, stole the tires, and left them on blocks. Isn't that great? They got candy, they got oranges, they never got shot at. They did it 5 different times before the Nazis finally figured it out. And they went around, and the worst they could do was ask their parents not to let it happen again, because, again, many of them were approaching 12, and the Hitler Youth, you know, they all were needed at the front somewhere. I just wanted to share that with you all tonight, that not all heroes of the Allies were American, French, or British, whether they meant to be or not, regardless of their motivations. My father, his brothers, his sisters, and their friends fucked up the Nazi war machine. Which is everybody else. Thank you very much.